So today's practice is a practice on awakening our inner ability to accept ourselves and others. Sorry, I just need to switch this on. It's going. Get all the technological stuff out the way. Here we go. So I invite you to find a comfortable seat, something that's easy and relaxed for you, and at the same time allows you to be present and alert. So it might be crossing your legs or whatever really works for you. And then close your eyes here. So as I talk, you can already start dropping into breath, dropping into this moment, dropping out of mind, and using images for that might help to just imagine yourself dropping into anywhere below the shoulders. So taking your attention away from head and gently softening downwards. What is very powerful in helping this movement into body, into our center, it could be our breath. So watching breath and following it into torso, into navel, into pelvic floor, and really allowing ourselves to ground into earth, to ground into our sit bones, to connect into earth, letting our shoulders soften, maybe moving them forwards, back, up and down a couple of times. And so today's focus is awakening, acceptance for ourselves and others. So delving into self-acceptance, ultimately acknowledging that the acceptance of others always is grounded in our acceptance of ourselves in the first place anyways, because all we perceive in the world out there is mirroring back what's alive within us. So as we sit and as we pause and as we step out of our day-to-day routine in life, just be for a moment and notice if there's spaces within you that might need to be heard and felt. Maybe there's a tenderness inside you, or just have a look and see if there's emotions, something that's challenging. Notice if there's a self-criticism that's alive this moment. And just acknowledging it, recognizing it, and giving it permission to be there. Noticing where exactly you feel it. Maybe you feel sensations around your heart or in your belly, something around the shoulders, and keep inquiring, being curious, offering whatever is alive in you this moment, the space to be exactly as it is. And maybe you place a hand on whatever area might feel tender, vulnerable, and offer yourself comfort. Offer yourself the slab of chocolate through your attention and awareness, through just simply paying attention to what is. Breathing into it, breathing in and breathing out. Noticing how things might shift and change. And then we place both hands onto our heart center. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed and spacious and open. As you place your hands onto heart center, maybe feeling heartbeat underneath hands. So as we place our hands here, we bring our focus, our awareness to heart center. And then let whatever is alive in you this moment be filled with compassion, be held by this heart space. Maybe you tell yourself, you say to yourself something like, I've been hard on myself long enough. I embrace what is. I honor what is. And through embracing it, I let it soften. I let it be there. I let this moment be a reminder that we're all made of magic. We are made of love and light and energy and compassion until we start judging ourselves, until we tap into becoming hard on ourselves. So let our practice today be a return to this spaciousness that is compassion, that is heart space. Feeling that space underneath your hands and letting this guide you. Guiding you through practice and movement. Each moment coming back and noticing, acknowledging, am I wanting this moment to be different than what it is? Am I wanting myself to be different to who I am and what I am? Might I be wanting another person to be different? Come back to remembering that if that's what you do, you're resisting life, because this moment is exactly as it is. There's no change, there's no transformation without first embracing and truly embodying what is alive here right now. There's no stopping, no stepping out of fear and anger unless we've fully embraced the presence of these emotions. And then gently drop your hands onto knees, palms facing up. Keep your eyes closed. Continue to breathe. Bring your attention to the space inside your hands. And on our next inhalation, we'll slowly open our eyes, gazing down at mat. And we'll gently lift our hands off our knees and bring them out to the sides. Lifting gaze, soften shoulders. Slide one shoulder blade at a time, up and down. Continue to notice. Notice the chatter in your head. Allow it to be there and come back into body, sensing down into earth. Bring your arms up above your head for a moment. Soften your shoulder blades down. Let's twist whichever way feels true for you right now, and bringing hands down onto mat. Paying attention to those spaces within you that need nourishing and nurturing. Gently leaning into yourself, soften into yourself. Coming back to center. Resistance to life tends to manifest as tightness, resistance in our body. So as you twist the other way and you soften into it, notice where's there resistance, where's there a tightness, contraction in your body. Then coming back to center, inhale here, bringing expansiveness into your practice, and exhale, twisting the other way again. And I would love you to flow in your own pace, so maybe a breath, a movement, or however you want to flow from side to side. Let's do 5 rounds in your own time. Slide your shoulder blades down, open collarbones, and do what you need to do this moment to land and arrive. If you want to close your eyes, you close your eyes. Breathing consciously. Every inhalation inhalation, a sense of expansion. And every exhalation, a sense of softening. Softening, another word for deep acceptance of what is. Instead of entering our yoga space, our yoga mat, with ideas of what we're becoming, of how our bodies should be, could be, we enter this space today with curiosity and lots of loving kindness. Intention of dancing with our inner selves. Loosening the body as we loosen the mind's grip on our being. And we've probably done 5 by now. We reach our arms up. We'll bring our hands forwards. Interlock your fingers. Turn your palms forwards and out. Really tighten them, the fingers, and push into wrists. Let's swap our feet to cross them the unfamiliar way, the opposite way. And then reach your arms up and over. Striving up, and then exhale your shoulder blades down. Let's do that again. Striving shoulder blades up, squeeze up. And exhale the shoulder blades down, reaching hands a little further back. If there is enough space, lift your gaze. Lift your gaze. Notice what comes up. Notice what's alive in you and feed it with attention and breath. And stay here. Notice where you're tightening up. Moving back into heart center and really fill each breath with compassion, love, kindness. Accepting yourself fully as you are this moment. And turning gaze forwards, release your hands. And as we exhale, we fold, we hinge from the hips and we reach forwards. We take our time as we pour our torso forwards over legs. We take our time to roll our shoulders and slide our shoulder blades, maybe shifting left and right. Grounding into sit bones. Let your body soften. All tension you might have created throughout the week, let it come out. Breathe it out. Come halfway up. Walk your hands over one side, whichever side, and then folding over the knee. Keep the opposite sit bone deeply grounded. Soften. See if you can lift your navel into heart. Lift your sternum forwards and up. Coming to center, going over the other way. Lengthening. Leveling out shoulders and chest. Every inhale making a little more space. Every exhale softening into it. Coming back to center. Inhale here, exhale, folding forward. Softening forward. Notice how there might be a little more space this round. Chin to chest, rolling up to sit. Bring your feet a little closer and roll over feet onto hands and knees. Finding your hands under shoulders, your knees in alignment with your hips. Spreading fingers out wide, grounding into earth. Circling around the wrists, preparing them to take weight. Moving from pinky finger to thumb, spreading fingers wide. Have a look at your shins, they're parallel, your feet are parallel. Wiggle your toes, let them all be on mat. Point your elbows to back corners of your mat, bending them gently as you lift your heart and lift your sit bones. Breathing here, lifting heart, lifting sit bones. And then as you exhale, you round it out. Releasing any tension you come across, not creating more. Inhale to open and exhale to round. Inhale to open and exhale to round. Flowing your own pace and your own breath, opening up and rounding, opening up the space between the shoulder blades, rising and softening. And then finding neutral spine, lift your knees to hover, or maybe lifting knees a little higher, stretching out the feet, the tops of the feet, maybe rolling the ankles. Acknowledge what you're feeling. Bring your knees back down, tuck your toes and find a down dog. Walking the down dog,
lifting one heel at a time, bending one knee at a time, taking time, filling your body with breath, remembering that we are a lot less dense than we often perceive ourselves to be. Have a look forward. Continue to connect with what's spacious within you. Spacious within you. Striving your sit bones a little higher. Make light of things. Lightness. Wherever there's resistance, embrace it. Nurture it, nourish it, allow it to be there. Add some light. And then from here, let's walk our hands to feet. And open our toes out to the sides. You might need to heel toe your feet slightly apart. Squat for a moment. Have your hands gently resting on earth. Draw circles around your feet, moving into big toes, pinky toes, heels. Opening the knees apart. See if you can arch and round your spine here. It might be more an intention than actually an action. And then keeping hands here, just lift your feet, your hips up. Lifting sit bones up to ceiling, moving from right foot to left. Noticing differences there. Notice how your toes might be holding on to mat and really soften. Soften into yourself. Make space for your true self to shine through. Soften back into squat. If you like, you use your elbows to open the knees a little wider. Maybe thumbs can rest on your sternum. Maybe your feet come a little wider. And remembering your heart center as your thumbs rest. Lift your heart. Slide your shoulder blades down. And then fingertips come down onto mat. We lift our hips up. And from here, hands come onto hips with a long flat spine. Lengthen yourself up to stand. We heel toe our feet in line with one another. Pinky toe sides parallel again. Shift your weight onto toes and into heels. Onto toes. Spreading the toes wide. Back onto heels. And standing tall. Hands down alongside your hips. Hands striving down to earth. Crown striving up to sky. Close your eyes, feel and sense. Where's your attention? Where's your awareness? How deep is your breath? Let yourself flow with your breath. And then open your eyes, reach your hands through the sides and up and away in line with ears, shoulders sliding down. Strong center as you sit back. And then we easily flow onto thighs, let our head drop, our arms drop, our chest drop, and lift our sit bones high. We bend our knees, point our tailbone down, round ourselves up to stand, rounding up, stacking up, coming up, rolling shoulders back. Inhale, rising arms through the sides and up. Sitting through Utkatasana, again, folding forwards. Let your tummy rest on thighs, your chest. Let your head hang. And then rounding spine, tailbone down, roll yourself back up. Going through a couple more of these, arms through the sides and up. Soften shoulders down, neck soft. Sitting back, Utkatasana, folding from the pelvis, hanging here. Maybe sit bones rise a little higher. You bend the knees, tuck the tailbone, round yourself up. Opening back body as much as you open front body. Rise your arms through the sides. Soften shoulders. Sitting back with Utkatasana, pointing sit bones back. Folding forwards, releasing. Hands onto opposite elbows this time. See if you can strive your sit bones a little higher. Shift your weight to front feet. Shake your head no and nod your head yes. Wiggle your toes, strive into sit bones. And then release your elbows, bend your knees, look forwards, find the front of your mat. Hands under shoulders, heels above toes. And from all the softness we move into plank. Can you maintain that same sense of softness in your plank? Can we maintain that same sense of spaciousness? Pointing elbows to back corners, lifting navel, lifting head. Imagine you were just simply standing. Let your body stack. If your knees need to support you this moment, you're welcome to have them support you. Draw your kneecaps up and keep your breath calm. Nurture any space within you that needs nurturing today. Accept wherever you're at, adjust however you need. We'll all bring our knees onto mat, point our toes back, and settle into child's pose. Sit bones settling onto heels, your hands keep reaching forwards. Rest your forehead onto mat and see if you can creepy crawl your hands a little further forwards. Slide your shoulder blades apart as you drop your outer shoulder blades towards earth. A broad upper back. Now rounding up onto hands and knees. We drop our hips and lift our heart, unraveling our spine. Very good. Lifting chin, lifting heart, pushing earth away. And then in a very nourishing, nurturing way, coming back into child's pose. Sit bones to heels. Upper back broad as you slide your outer shoulder blades down and rounding it up again. Rounding, hands and knees. And then let that movement snake through your body in your own pace, in your own time. Do another 5 of these. Mindfully exploring this wave of movement, breath and energy flow through you. Allow breath and movement to dance through you. So it's not a I that creates the movement, but simply flowing with it. Wherever there's tension, every round soften a little deeper into that tension. And let's do one more. Opening up. Moving back into child's pose. From child's pose, we round ourselves up to sit on heels. We lift ourselves up onto knees and we turn ourselves sideways on our mat. And from here, fingertips come down or hands flat onto earth. Move your knees apart, away from one another. Good. And then flex your feet if you can, as if you were standing on them. Have a look. Your shins are parallel to one another. Good. If you need cushions under your knees, you're welcome to have them there. And then maybe walking hands forwards and back. Can you shift your hips forwards and back? So you align them with your knees and then you shift them a little further back. And then you shift them a little further forwards. And notice where this feels tender. Notice how this might feel very vulnerable. And can you guide your breath there? Can you guide your inner strength and kindness and compassion to where it's vulnerable? Can you continue to breathe and continue to embrace all that is? Whatever you're feeling. If there's space for you to come onto elbows, you're welcome to. If your knees might be able to slide a little further away from one another, they may. Allowing yourself to be with what you're feeling this moment. Notice the tendency to resist. Notice how your mind might come in and say why making a cup of tea might be a much better idea right now. But stay with it. Stay with it. Notice and remember how you guide your attention. How your experience is formed by
your interpretation of this experience, of this moment. See if you can find that layer in the challenge that is joyful. And let's bring our big toes to touch. Settle our sit bones towards heels. Maybe we can sit into the space between our heels for a moment. Hands onto knees. Adjust however you need to. Celebrate your body. Lengthen high and tall. Notice sensations, emotions that are present. And then we'll come back onto hands and knees. Bring your knees closer. Turn yourself back onto your mat. Hands at the front of your mat. Tucking toes under, find your plank. One breath here for length and stability, and then exhale that into down dog. Lifting hips back and away. Softening into down dog. When you're ready, grounding into left foot, rising right leg up. Notice where your gaze is. Shake your head no, nod your head yes. Look slightly forwards. Have your neck nice and long. Drop your armpits towards the back mat and lift your right leg a little higher. Drop your left heel a little lower. And right leg comes down. Watch how your right foot takes weight as your left leg rises. Keep lifting through navel. Keep looking down and forward. Soften your shoulders, point elbows to back corners of the mat. Lift a little higher, sink right heel a little lower. And left foot comes down, swapping sides again, right leg rises. Lifting. And then coming forwards, knee to chest, lift your navel in. Bring your shoulders above hands. Round your spine, point your tailbone, lengthen your neck. And slide it back, three-legged downward facing dog. Reach your leg up high. Squeeze and contract and breathe into that. Coming forwards, knee to chest, toes pointing, foot lifting, shoulders sliding away as we step our foot to land between our hands. Left knee comes down onto earth, left toes point back, make lots of space and gently shift, sway, shift and sway. Find space, maybe you shift your hips back. Lifting toes, lifting heart, moving forwards and back in your own pace, pointing sit bones away. Moving into where it's challenging and filling it with heart space. And we come forwards, knee above heel, left hand under left shoulder. Let's bring our right arm up. Up and away, follow it with your gaze. If you want to bring your right hand back, slide your shoulder blades to pelvis and lift your heart a little wider. Lift your belly button and open your front body as you sink deeper into pelvis. Acknowledge, where am I holding on? What am I resisting? And nourishing, nurturing all that is tight in you. Embracing it. See if you can soften through embracing yourself where you're at right now. Let's bring our right hand back to outer right foot. Let's shift our hips back one more time, straightening out front leg. Shifting forwards, fingertips light, back toes tuck, back knee lifts, right knee above heel. Find your feet, find a strong stance and rise it up, rise it up. Inhale, hands up above the head, exhale them through the sides. Align your hips, feel your pelvis in space. Feel your right knee forwards, left knee back. Bring your hands onto heart. See if you can close your eyes here for a moment. Strong in your stance, feeling heartbeat. Fill this pose. Open your eyes, reach your arms through the sides and up. And we twist to the right. Left hand reaches forwards, right hand reaches back. Beautiful. And now check your legs. See your thigh parallel to the mat. Lift your back knee high. See if you can strive into backhand.
So tailbone points down and forwards, and navel lifts. The hand might reach to back heel as the front hand might reach upwards. Go a little deeper. Very good. Strive your knees apart. Go a little deeper. Now right hand comes onto heart. We twist our chest a little further to the right as we bring our elbow to knee. As we bring our hand to hand. As we press our hands into one another, opening a little wider. As we drop our back knee onto mat to support us. Looking over back shoulder. Going deeper, twisting deeper. Right arm reaches back again. We lift our back knee and we straighten up. And we sway our right hand past our hip, coming back into lunge warrior. Inhale here. Bring your hands together, interlock them. Make a pillow for the back of your head and lean your head into hands. Open your knees, point them away from one another. Open your elbows, lean back into yourself. Heart wide and open. Lift your back knee, straighten back leg as much as you can. Reach and open. As we inhale, we strive our hands up and we exhale them down onto mat. We take a moment here, we find space, hands rest into earth and right foot reaches up into three-legged dog. Opening the right hip, letting right heel drop to outer left hip. Left kneecap, see it pointing at left hand. Look down at mat and open the thighs. Roll your right ankle one way, the other way. Soften your shoulders. Let this movement flow through you. And then slowly stepping right foot down onto mat. Bring your knees down onto mat. Point your toes back, find child's pose. Soften here. Keep your hands where they're at. Soften your upper shoulders. Guide breath into whatever body part might need it right now. Take another big inhale and exhale deeply as you round yourself up onto hands and knees. Tucking toes, finding down dog. Left leg rises up, up and away. Being here, being with the challenge. Being with whatever your body whatever signals your body might send. Being with it. Holding it. Coming forwards, knee to chest, foot lift, shoulders above hands. Lifting foot, lifting shin, round your back, point your tailbone, open your lower back, lift your navel, reach it back again, open up, and coming forwards, rounding, reaching, and one more time, bring it back, reach your left heel back and away, we roll forwards, and we land our foot between our hands in your own unique, perfect way. Right knee comes down, right toes point back, maybe widening the distance, gently swaying hips left and right. Have your left knee be in your left armpit, so you can really soften your chest onto left thigh, adding some weight. When you're ready, gently move back, lifting hips back, folding over your extended leg, moving forwards and back in your own pace, in your own time, finding that centeredness, your core, finding the openness into the periphery. Celebrating your practice exactly as it is right now. Finding our knee above our heel, right hand under shoulder, and taking a moment to lift our left arm up, and maybe up and back as you lift your heart, as you open your thighs, as you lean into yourself, into your most spacious, most open and most powerful you. Reaching into it, breathing into it. Notice how everything evolves and changes. With every breath, nothing stays the same. And left hand comes forwards in line with left heel. The fingertips become light Let's shift the hips back one more time. Reaching back, coming forwards, tucking back toes under. Lift your back knee, finding your feet, and then rising up into lunge warrior. Inhale here, exhale your hands to the sides, and right hip forward, left hip back, being upright. Align your pelvis and ribs. Find a deep core connection. Bring your hands onto heart center. If you can, close your eyes. Ask yourself, how might this pose feel different if it was led by the heart? Where am I resisting? Where could I surrender a little deeper, go a little further? Open your eyes, reach your arms up and away, spread your fingers out wide, interlock your hands, bring your hands to the back of your head, rest your head into hands, make your pillow, open your elbows, open your heart, lean a little further back, and then maybe move or sway. See, where am I creating tension? Where could I go a little deeper through softness? And reaching arms up again. We sway our left hand past our hip, we twist over to the left. So left knee above heel, and we open towards the left. And we play here. We reach our left hand to back heel, right hand reaches forwards and up. And maybe we can bring our left hand onto lower ribs, onto heart, twist a little deeper over to the left, and then bring our right elbow onto outer left knee. Twist, stack our hands, drop our back knee for a moment, soften into hips, soften through all tension you might have created. Lifting back knee again and opening out to the left. Left hand comes past the hip, swaying up. A moment of celebration as you exhale your hands down onto earth. Let your hands take weight. Slide your left foot back, reach it up and away. And open the hip, drop the left heel to outer right hip. See your right knee pointing at right hand and then look down at mat. Open your chest, open your heart, open your knees, circle your left ankle, one way, the other way. Find space, open up, and left foot steps down onto mat. Big toes connect, knees open wide, big toes point back. Find your child's pose, let your chest rest into the space between knees, ground your sit bones to heels. Let your heart melt into earth. Let your forehead melt into mat. Notice any thoughts that are arising. Notice what's alive in you. Notice where you're resisting gravity. And accept and embrace all that is. Let's come onto hands and knees. And then find our way onto our belly. So, lengthening the legs, your feet hip wide apart. Hands on the shoulders, we slide them forwards, we bring our elbows onto mat. So your shoulder blades are sliding down to hips, your collarbones are wide. Press the tops of your feet into your mat so that the knees gently lift. And then squeeze your glutes to extend tailbone and lift your navel up and then lift your heart. Open your collarbones. If there's a little more space, so you stay here if this is good for you. If there's more space, maybe hands slightly apart as you lift your elbows. Ask yourself, how much lightness can I bring into this? How much ease can I bring into this? Where am I holding on? Could I just soften there? Feel your body from crown to toes, into fingertips. Continue to soften. Staying fully present with all that arises. And mindfully coming back down onto mat. Build a little cushion with your hands and rest your forehead onto it. Soften your knees, your thighs, your hips. Lift your head and then bring your left hand under left shoulder, right elbow out to the side into this T shape. So stay where you're at. You're basically doing this shape, your elbow in line with shoulder, hand up, your left hand is here. And what you do then is you roll onto the right hand side. So what we're doing is we're opening the right shoulder. Point your tailbone to right heel. Imagine your right foot, you're standing on it, so you're really strong there. Your left leg might lift and be here somewhere in space. If that's a bit much, your left knee is on the mat in front of you. You're using your left hand in the mat to open a little further. Maybe shift your head towards your right shoulder and open your chest. Breathe into it. Notice stories that might arise as you open into heart space. A tenderness, whatever is there, fill it with breath. Maybe filling it with golden light emanating from your heart center. And then find your way back onto tummy. Right hand under right shoulder. We swap sides. Left elbow out to the side. Rest your left cheek onto mat and roll onto left hand side. Make sure there's lots of space around the left shoulder. Slide your left shoulder blade towards hip. Flexing left foot as if you were standing on it. Tailbone points away, navel up and in. Feel a deep sense of connection between front hip bones and lower ribs as you soften and surrender into left shoulder. Continue to open the sternum, continue to lean into this discomfort. It's a big dose of acceptance. And then coming back onto belly. Make a cushion for your head. And then soften your heels, sway them left and right, right and left, side to side. Lifting head, hands slide down in line with lower ribs. We gently lift onto hands and knees. Align our knees with hips. As we inhale, we arch. And as we exhale, we round. Doing that again 2-3 times. Arching and rounding. And finding neutral spine as you tuck your toes under. Lift your knees, slide your hips back into down dog. Stay here for a few breaths. Just be here. Observe and witness. And then walk your hands to feet. Feet hip wide, pinky toe sides parallel. And round yourself up to stand. Shoulders sliding up and down and away, standing tall, feeling, sensing, spreading fingers alongside your hips. Flowing with your breath, every inhalation is a sense of expansion, and every exhale you soften. Notice where you contracted in your body, and add some breath, some space there. We're going to flow through a few vinyasas, so as we reach our arms to the sides and up. See if you can bring a quality of vinyasa flowing through you rather than you doing it. Folding forwards, finding the front of your mat, lengthen into plank, and either the knees supporting you as you come into this cobra variation, or you might be moving through your chaturanga. We come back up over knees, onto feet, into down dog, or in your own way. And then from here, let's look forward, step our feet to hands. Slide our hands up our shins onto thighs. Lift your gaze, lift your heart. Exhale, fold deeper into your forward fold. Let your head hang. And then round yourself up to stand. Stacking up, and in one flow, your shoulders roll back, your arms reach up. Soften shoulders down, finding Utkatasana. Flowing through Utkatasana into our forward fold, finding that fluidity, lifting gaze, lifting heart. Bend your knees deep enough to bring your hands flat onto earth. Step or jump back, plank. Again, maybe the knees, so you move through your chaturanga into cobra or up dog. Flowing into down dog. Having a look forwards. Let's stay here for a moment. Take a couple of deep inhalations, exhalations. Let your down dog be a resetting pose. Then we look forwards, step or jump our feet to land between hands. Sliding hands up, shins, knees, thighs. Inhale. Exhale, fold deeply. And round up to stand. Stack yourself up to stand. Shoulders roll up and back and down. Arms rise. One fluent movement. Soften shoulders. Sit back into Utkatasana. Softening forwards. Lifting through the sit bones. Bending through the knees. Looking forwards. Grounding through the hands. Conscious, mindful in body placement. Plank. Maybe plank becomes down dog, or you go through your vinyasa of choice this moment. Coming back into down dog, this is where we meet. Reaching it back, pausing here, witnessing. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump your feet to land between hands. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Rounding yourself up to stand, stacking up. Shoulders roll back, sliding down, arms reach through the sides in our big movement. Lift onto toes, slide your shoulders further down, lift onto toes. Be as big and spacious as you can be. Transcend all denseness. Be pure space, pure heartbeat, pure breath. Exhale the heels down, shift your sit bones back, flow through Utkatasana into forward fold. Lift your sit bones high, bend your knees, reach forwards, hands ground, step or jump. Find your plank. Watch out, this time we'll bring our left knee down, roll our right heel down, stack our hips and rise. Beautiful. Can you flow your leg up? Keep your left torso lifted. Flow up, expand. Can we bring our right leg forwards in line with hip for a moment? Keep the foot lifted. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Good. Lift the foot a little higher. Reach it back. Well done. Hand and leg down. Inhale, plank. Exhale through your chaturanga or cobra or straight into down dog. And down dog is where we meet. Reach it back, pause, feel, sense. Let everything come and let everything go. Finding plank. Coming onto right knee, pointing right toes back. Left heel down, left arm rises. Right waistline rises. Maybe left leg rises. Be space. Flex your left foot. Be spacious. Relax your shoulder blades down to hips. Bring your left leg forwards. Can you hold it here? Can you lift it a little higher? Shift your weight towards your left foot. Lift it a little higher. Send it back. Open up. And hand and leg down. Inhale, plank. Maybe straight into down dog or into your variation of up dog or cobra. We meet in down dog, reaching it back. We bend our knees, look forward, and find our left leg landing between hands into this lizard shape. Now our right knee stays lifted. We straighten out our left leg. We lift our heart. Hey guys. We fold over our extended leg. We bend our knee to be above our heel and we lift our arms up into lunge warrior. Find that softness. Find that expansion. And then open into warrior two. Roll your back heel down. Roll it down onto mat. Open your thighs apart. Open your arms out to the sides. Gently shift, move. Shift, move. Reach forwards. Elbow to knee. Right hand onto heart. Pause. Pause. Check in. Where might I be hard on myself? Where might I be able to add a bit more softness, love and light? If you like, stay here or reach your arm up and over. Open chest. So using your left elbow on the knee as a lever to maybe open a little more. Roll your right hip back and away. Strong through your center, lifting up. Now left hand lifts the left hip, reach it back. Right hand drops down. Maybe left arm up and over. Keep pointing your tailbone down. Lift your navel. Lift your front hips. Beautiful. Let's come back to center. Warrior two. Warrior two sways the right hand past the hip. Coming up onto right toes. Rising arms up. So hips, chest parallel to front. Arms come through the sides. Interlock your hands. And then swap the fingers, do it the unfamiliar way. And swap fingers back to familiar. Notice how comforting that can feel. Lift your chest forwards and up. Rise into heart. Maybe step your left foot slightly out to the left. Find that stability, and as you hinge forward, left shoulder lands onto left knee and arms soften up and over. If your right knee needs to support you on your mat, it may. Soften your shoulders. Find lightness. And coming back up. Releasing hands. Rising them past the hips up and away. Lift into heart, lift into gaze. And exhale, your hands down onto earth. Hands shoulder wide. Left foot reaches back into three-legged downward facing dog. Inhaling here, exhale, leg down. Stay in your down dog. You can always rest in child's pose. If you'd like to add on, come through a vinyasa, through your plank, chaturanga, cobra. Then we take our gaze forwards. When we're ready, we find our feet between our hands. We inhale to rise and lengthen. We exhale to flow forward, soften forward. And we round ourselves up to stand. Flowing our arms through the sides, up above our head. Grab the space above you, slide it down, wear it like a crown. Lift onto toes, lift your heels. Find that deep inner alignment that allows the outside of your body to soften and melt. Find that inner strength. Release your heels back down, flow into Utkatasana. From Utkatasana, we flow into forward fold. We lift our sit bones. We soften and transcend all density. And then looking forwards, finding our plank. Plank might become down dog, or again, you might want to flow in your own perfect way. Meeting in down dog. Rising our right leg up. And bringing our right foot to land between our hands. Finding fingertips become light. Lifting up into lunge warrior. Softening here, reaching here. Let's open up into warrior two. So your back heel rolls down and your arms open to the sides. Opening out to the sides, reaching into backhand. Reaching into front hand.
elbow to inner knee, left hand onto heart. Feel your heartbeat. Can you expand your heart into hand? Lengthen your spine, lean into yourself. Maybe left hand comes up and over as you gently twist a little deeper. Lengthen the right side of your torso, dropping the hips maybe. Be playful. Opening up, warrior two. Leaning into back hand. Dropping back hand, rising front arm. Tailbone reaches down, your heart wide and open. Coming back to center, we sway our left hand past our hip, land on our left toes into this lunge warrior. Maybe right foot walks slightly out to the side. We bring our hands together in your own choice. We roll our shoulders back, lift our hearts. Stay here for a moment. Breathe here for a moment. Soften your thighs, your hips, your legs. Coming forward, shoulder to knee, arms up and over. Relax your neck. Check your toes, are they holding on to earth? You soften a little deeper where you're resisting. And then undoing it, coming up, releasing the hands, reaching up. Let this movement flow through you. And then exhale your hands down onto earth. Hands take weight, foot strives back into three-legged downward facing dog if that's available to you. Then exhale your foot down, knees narrow or wide, coming into child's pose. Your own choice, find your own variation. Rest your forehead onto earth or onto a pillow made with hands. Let your shoulder blades slide apart. Reconnect inwards. Let's roll ourselves up and sit on heels. Hands come onto thighs. If you can't sit on your heels, you're welcome to have a block underneath you or just be on your knees. Otherwise, close eyes. Be here for a moment. Bring your hands onto mat alongside your thighs. See if you can lift the knees, just gently stretching toes. This might not be for you, just skip it. And then release your knees back down onto earth. Let's bring our legs out to the side, come to seated. And we'll walk ourselves to the front of our mat. Bring your feet a little wider than hip wide, flat onto earth. Knees pointing up. Knees as wide as the shoulders maybe. Your hands come forwards and they ground together. Bring your palms together. From here, lift your heart, lift your sternum, and continue to slide your chest and shoulders down. And then point your tailbone forwards. Keep your knees wide as you roll yourself down onto earth. I invite you to keep your lower back long and on the mat. Pay attention to lower ribs. Keep them on the mat as you rest down and bring your arms up and over. Let your thumbs and fingertips rest on the mat. Inhale here. As you exhale, you lift your chin, you lift your hands. Imprinting your entire spine into earth, you slowly lift one vertebra at a time. Whenever you skip a vertebra, roll back down and come up. Let this movement flow through you. Witness. And let's roll it back down. Rounding, expanding, lifting arms up and over, reaching, surrendering. Chin to chest, hands come forwards, coming up again. Reaching up, rounding up. This time we'll open our arms wide. Notice the difference. Tucking tailbone, rounding down onto mat. Your hands come down onto earth alongside your hips. Step your feet in, hip wide apart. Feel your heels, fingertips on heels. Now, your pelvis tilts, so your front hip bones, they drop inwards. Your pelvis tilts backwards. Your navel lifts, no, not your navel. Your navel drops, your tailbone lifts. Tailbone lifts up, and then you round it up onto feet and shoulder blades. And just be here. Be here for a moment. Feel into it.
Lift your hips a little higher. Shift your weight towards your feet. Feel your thighs, your inner thighs soften. Feel your heart soften. Ground into shoulder blades. And check your head. Are you holding it up, or can you really release the weight of your head into earth? Can you become really comfortable here? Take another inhale, and as you exhale, watch your navel drop, and then find your spine coming back down onto mat, one vertebra at a time. And just pause here and feel. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, again you ground into feet. You press your sacrum into mat, lift your tailbone, peel yourself up, interlock your hands underneath this time if available for you. Roll your shoulder blades towards one another, feel your collarbones widen, and find a sense of softness again. Maybe sway knees left and right. Where am I holding on? Use your core strength so you can soften into periphery. Lifting up, reaching up. Notice as your head, are you holding on to it? Can you soften it into earth? What happens if you stay here? Challenging ourselves so that we can let go of any excess tension. And releasing hands, releasing spine back down onto mat. Hug your knees into chest, hands onto knees, sway them. Wrap your arms around your knees, bring your chin to chest, squeeze your knees in, balance on one vertebra. And then release your torso down, arms out to the sides, release your knees over to the left. So stacking your knees, check in, are you holding on to the leg? Can you drop it into gravity? Scan your awareness into feet, are they sort of hovering in space? Can you really, really relax here? And then with lots of space in the neck, turn your head towards the right, wherever that is for you, however far you can turn your head. Shift awareness, attention into right chest, right shoulder. Ground those into mat. Unravel your spine, unravel yourself. Taking time, breath, and let your body expand with every inhale. And soften into that expansion with every exhale. Deeply nurturing and nourishing presence. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, you bring your knees back to center. Hands onto knees. You might need to adjust and realign. Wrap your arms around legs, hug them in tight. Squeeze them in. And then open arms out to the sides again. Drop your knees over the other way. Notice how this might feel different. Check in. Other knees, can you drop your top knee into bottom knee? Can you soften your feet? You might want to start looking at your right hand, looking the direction your knees are in, with lots of length in your neck. Slowly turn your gaze and awareness the opposite way. Reach into the opposite hand. Keep your knees and feet soft. Ground your opposite shoulder into earth. Guide breath into ribs, into chest, all the way along your torso. Notice resistance. And give yourself permission to soften into mat, into earth, into this moment, deeper and deeper. Let everything else fade away. And then slowly coming back to center. Bring your knees back to center. Hands onto knees, gently sway them left and right. You can stay here if you like, otherwise hands in line with hips, legs up towards the ceiling. If this is a bit much, maybe a cushion or a block under your sacrum, that could help, or legs up against the wall. If you want to go a little further, just gently press your feet, your hands into mat, and then lift your knees onto forehead or your feet onto mat above you. Take weight out of spine, so make sure you're on the back of your head and on your shoulder blades. especially if you want to take it further into shoulder stand. Bringing your elbows as close as your shoulders, hands resting, maybe towards the shoulder blades even. Being tall, picture yourself standing, find that same spaciousness. Feel free to move around, moving the legs to make sure you don't get tense. You're not creating tension, but creating softness, openness. Releasing knees back onto forehead or feet onto mat. Releasing hands, rolling our spine back down onto mat. Now meeting here, we grab behind our knees and open our knees towards our shoulders. Draw your knees into armpits. Bring your hands to feet and then draw your knees into the space alongside your chest. If hands to feet is a bit much, hands onto thighs. Opening up, swaying left and right. Swaying from side to side. Maybe you can dip your knees onto mat as you sway. Let go of your feet. Bring your hands to the back of your head. Lift your head into hands and watch your legs straighten out onto mat. Long lines through your body, just lifting head, lifting gaze. See your legs extended and straight. Bring your head down. Bring your hands down under glutes. Tuck them under so that you're sitting on your hands. Index fingers and thumbs connect. Press your hands and your elbows into earth. So your elbows squeeze into chest, and then your sternum lifts. And then your head folds back. Let the crown of your head rest onto mat. There's not much weight in your head. Your weight is on your elbows, your chest is opening wide, you're pointing your toes. You're extending your tailbone away. If you want to take it further and you want to lift the legs, you're welcome to, but maybe just resting legs onto mat is fine today, here and now. To come out, we bring our chin into chest. We open our elbows and rest back down onto mat. We draw our knees up to chest, hands onto knees. One more time, rolling into lower back, gently massaging into lower back. And then find something that's warm and comfortable for you. Find your warm socks, your blanket. And then stretching out your legs, finding your way into Shavasana. Notice if there's anything else your body might need this moment before you rest into Shavasana. And then I invite you to build your Shavasana from your body center, from your core, from your sacrum, from your lower back. If you find the legs extended is a bit much today, then have some pillows under your knees so that you can rest your knees onto pillows, so that your lower back really feels supported. Your shoulder blades are gently tucked under, but no compression. They're nice and wide, and your hands out to the sides. Shift your head around, place it in a conscious way. Sometimes I use my fingers, I lift my head up, and then place my head back down onto mat, gently squeezing the sides of my head, and then resting hands back down. Soften your lips and soften your eyelids, your forehead. If you're comfortable with your hands out to the sides, stay there. Otherwise, stack them onto belly or onto heart center even. Check into shoulders wherever you're at and notice how they might be holding tension. Make sure you're comfortable and then make the conscious choice to become still. Be still and alert at the same time, so your body becomes still, yet your awareness and presence is wide awake, is fully alert. With curiosity, following your breath. With curiosity, noticing and observing what is present and alive within you right now.
Feel your entire body supported by earth. For a moment we guide our attention to face, to forehead, to eyebrows, to cheeks. And we soften here. Imagine yourself softening your forehead, your brain into back of your skull. Imagine yourself stroking with kindness and love along your forehead and just softening what's there. Softening the thinking brain. And then meander your awareness downwards into throat, jaws, ears, neck. From within, touch the muscles that attach to your skull and soften them. Soften your throat and your collarbones, muscles around your shoulders. Soften the muscles between your ribs. Become curious to what it is that is alive within you. And become curious to tension your body might be holding. And it might be tension, tightness you've held for many, many years. And as we do so, we become blind to these things. We don't notice them anymore. We take it for what it is. We take it for what we feel. Make this moment here now be a journey into these deeper levels, these deeper layers, and soften them. And every tension, every muscle, every contraction you come across, I invite you to whisper within you to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for wanting the best for me. Saying thank you. Staying still within you. Continue to meander. Meander down your arms, into hands. Meander down your belly, into hips. Continue to meander. Saying thank you. Thank you to whatever you encounter within you. Thank you. Let every inhalation be a sense of rebirth, embracing the quality of newness with every inhale. And every exhalation, that surrendering, that letting go. Letting go of all these things that don't serve. Breathing out our inner critic. Acknowledging that right now, here today, might be the moment to decide that we've been hard on ourselves. Enough. It's enough. Here now might be the moment to choose love, compassion, kindness over criticism and wanting to be different and optimize. Acknowledge that resisting does not take us anywhere. Transformation and change requires the act of full surrender and full acknowledgement of what is first. Once we see where we're at, we can find a path to walk into where we want to be. Mindfully notice the quality of this moment. Notice as we soften, the world within and the world around, they start to merge. Suddenly we're not so separate anymore. Being one with the surrounding, one with life. Letting life live through you. Let your breath be an anchor. Let your breath be this metaphor for life, flowing in and out. We all bring our hands to heart center in the most gentle way. Witness heartbeat, witness breath. Notice how touching heart shifts our awareness and attention there. And really just feel what it feels like to be there. And we gently deepen our breath and let our breath bring us back into movement, back into life. Maybe you feel like rolling over onto one of your sides before you lift up back to seated. Follow your intuition, your body wisdom. In your own time, find your way back up to seated. Sitting high and tall, we're closing the circle like our class is a road trip. We leave, we journey, we come back. We come back home and we're not the same we were before. We change, we evolve, we learn, we transcend, we go beyond. Bring your hands together, gently rub them, create a bit of fire, a bit of light. Notice the color that light has. And then bring your hands onto heart. Feel that warmth. Let this be a reminder to stay connected here.